The Planetary Parade of January 2025 is a big deal, but it's not exactly what people are making it out to be. You may have found a lot of videos online talking about how the planets are arranged in a straight line, sort of single file in the sky. This is not the arrangement that the planets have. This is not exactly how they look. Although as we gaze up at the night sky, we are going to see many planets visible to the naked eye. And those who are not visible to the naked eye, we are going to be able to see with a telescope, 6 in particular. So this is incredibly exciting from a voyeuristic sort of viewer's perspective, but from an astrological perspective, it's actually a lot more magical. Now we have these planets connected in a series of what we call sextiles in astrology. Sextiles are 60-degree angles, and 60-degree angles are a connection or sort of a relationship, if you will, that planets create with each other where they're connected in this energy that is very stimulating. It's very cerebral. It's very exciting. It's a very pleasant aspect that really gets energies moving, gets the planets talking, gets them combining their interests together in a way that really creates a lot of movement and a lot of mental stimulation. The fact that we have 2 planets that represent the mind connected in this series or network of sextiles here makes this even more exciting, as we have Mercury and we have Uranus, which is known as the higher octave or the higher vibration of the planet Mercury. We also have Venus and Mars here representing our masculine and our feminine energies. So we have a lot of different aspects of our being. And you're going to see as we continue in this video, and I tell you about this, how even more planets are actually involved from an astrological point of view than what we can see in the sky and what is technically connected just because of the way they're all grouped together. So we're going to get into that more in a minute. But if we look at it simply from the point of Venus, Mars, Uranus, and Mercury, we're looking at that balancing, that harmonizing, that coming together of the masculine and the feminine energies here. We actually have Venus and Mars not only in this network of sextiles here, but making a trine to each other, which is the other most pleasant aspect besides a sextile in astrology. This is where the planets are getting along really well, really smoothly. The energy just flows. So we're going to feel very harmonized within our masculine and feminine energy. Our masculine and feminine energy, when they are in harmony, this is the energy that really makes manifestation happen. This is when we can bring together that receptive, creative, intuitive feminine side with that dynamic, action-oriented masculine energy. And we can really create some waves and create some change in a big, beneficial, and positive way. So we're going to continue with this, but just understand here that this connection of planets, this planetary parade, is creating and opening up a powerful gateway of manifestation energy. With Mercury and Uranus here, Uranus is tapping us into the Akashic records, into those higher timelines. And Mercury is tapping us into and activating that mind energy, which Uranus is then upgrading so that our words become that much more powerful and impactful. Our thoughts become that much more powerful and impactful. So this is a really beautiful thing. And what makes this even more fun and exciting is the fact that if we start out with Mercury here, and this is going to be the most exact at the end of January. January 26th is the date we're going to be looking at for this, because this is where we have the tightest orbs between the planets here. And then we're going to see Mercury, who we're about to, going to kick this off here for us, move out of orb as he continues along his trajectory through Aquarius. But the other planets that we're talking about here are still going to be within this connection as we move through the beginning of February. So Mercury kicking us off on the 26th, where we're looking at where these orbs are really the tightest, in those final degrees of the sign of Capricorn, but within conjunction range of Pluto at 1 degree of Aquarius, and at the sun, who's a few degrees further into the sign of Aquarius. So we have here this beautiful energy of Mercury being magnified, being expanded and blown up, if you will, by the planet Pluto, which represents power and really holds within it all the records of our past lives, our soul's evolutionary energy, the evolutionary energy of this galaxy, even one might say. So this is a big energy to be amplifying that energy that we talked about with our words and our thoughts becoming that much more powerful. Pluto is wanting to help us alchemize, wanting to help us transform. In the sign of Aquarius, wanting to help us reach our greatest heights of possibility and potential. And then the fact that the sun is really involved in this as well, as it is at 6 degrees of Aquarius here. So connecting in with Pluto, still they had a conjunction a few days earlier than this, and also connecting in here with Mercury, just really amplifying this energy and expanding it and making it bigger, adding to that confidence, adding to that bravado, if you will, in a sense, but the bravado that is necessary. This is that ability to create, that ability to see ourselves as that empowered creator. Now, as we continue to move along here, we have Mercury in a sextile to the next planet in this equation, which is Venus. And we have Venus here at 23 degrees of Pisces. Now, Venus is not alone either. She is distantly connected to Saturn at 16 degrees of Pisces, and also to Neptune at 27 degrees of Pisces, and the North Node at 28 degrees of Pisces. And on February 7th, we're going to see a exact conjunction here between the North Node and Neptune, and that's going to be a big energy. So we're building up to that. We're building up to a lot of things. We're also building up to Venus retrograde. We're building up to Mercury retrograde. We're building up to that new moon in Aquarius on the 29th, when we're still going to have most of this, save Mercury having moved into Aquarius, which Mercury moves into Aquarius the next day, the 27th, after we have this we're really looking at the energies of this planetary parade as coming into the sharpest focus. We're gonna have Mercury beginning to move on. So we're building up to that new moon, and Uranus stationing direct, which is going to happen on the 28th here? The 28th or the 29th, right after, on the 30th. There we go. Uranus is going to station direct, the ruler of Aquarius, mind you, on the 30th, so the day after the new moon. So we're building up to that as well. So these energies are in this kind of storm of anticipatory energy, as all of these planets are planning to be doing all of these different things. All right, so we have Venus there. She's connected to Neptune. She's connected to Saturn. She's connected to the North Node. So bringing all of those beautiful planets, our higher self, our path forward. So much our like spirituality and how we anchor that into the 3D, into the physical world with that Saturnian energy here. Our soul lessons, our soul contracts, all of that energy is being brought in and activated, along with Venus here, which represents our values. She represents love, connection, romance, what we are passionate about, what we desire, and the beauty, and where we see beauty and how we want to contribute beauty to the world. So a really beautiful energy there with our beautiful feminine energy activated by Venus. Very feminine in the sign of Pisces, particularly when connected to Neptune, the ruler of Pisces, and that North Node in Pisces. Moving along here, we have another sextile being made between Venus and then loosely all these other planets, because they're connected to her right now, and Uranus retrograde at 23 degrees of Taurus. And as we said, Uranus is going to be stationing direct the day after the new moon on the 30th. So we're going to be feeling that Uranian energy very powerfully during that new moon, and I'll have different videos on that new moon in Aquarius. All right, so bringing in that beautiful Uranian energy. And then Uranus in a sextile to Mars in Cancer. Mars at 22 degrees of Cancer in retrograde as well, getting near the end of his retrograde. And so all of these planets coming together in this beautiful, kind of near. His retrograde ends February 23rd. So he's got a little ways to go still. He ends at 17 degrees of Cancer. But still, he's in that final leg of his retrograde. So there's a lot of lessons coming into focus. There's a lot that we're being asked to. It's like energy that's moving us forward with the direct planets, also energy that's moving us back, or asking us to pause, but it's really a perfect storm that allows us to be inspired to really think about what it is that we want to create, what it is that we want to manifest, what's coming forward for us. That's what Spirit wants you to really look at. What is coming forward for you? Allow your own soul to guide you along this path. Your soul is speaking to you very powerfully right now. So this is a beautiful time of